Guys will remove the hat. Once again, we'll start with a overview from Sully.
Obviously, it was a well-played game and came down to the last few innings there. And I think, Jack got off to a really good start in the first inning and ran into a little bit of trouble there in the second, made some big pitches when he needed to. And I thought he really settled down and to pitch in this environment. His first career start out here, I thought he handled the stage as well as you could have expected. I'm really, really proud of the way he pitched. And got ourselves in a little bit of trouble there in the seventh, and we made some big pitches there. And I thought Tommy Mace threw the ball fine, threw the ball across the plate, and Jordan Butler obviously came in and got a big strikeout, and got the final out of the seventh. And then obviously offensively, I thought we swung the bats really well tonight. Deacon got a couple hits. JJ hit the big home run there to help us. I forget what inning it was, but it was obviously a huge, huge lift for us. Will Dalton had a couple hits, and obviously Blake Reese had 3 hits, and Nick Horvath had a really good night at the plate with a couple more hits. And I think that was probably our best night offensively in a while. We ran the bases extremely well, and I don't know how many bases we stole, but we were, pretty successful there. But Texas Tech was one of those teams we knew they weren't going to go away. They hung in there with us, and we knew it was going to be a 9-inning ball game, and they had a terrific year. Obviously, this is their 3rd trip to Omaha in the last 5, and Tim's done an unbelievable job with his program, and I know it's never fun to see your season come to an end, but they have a lot to be proud of, and they played extremely well against us here in this tournament here in Omaha.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for the student athletes, and we'll start over here with Mike.
Mike Malloy, the Orlando Sentinel. Jack, it had a little bit of shades of that Florida Atlantic game you pitched a couple of weeks ago, where the control wasn't quite there the first 2 innings, but you fought through that, and then were really good thereafter. Describe struggling early and then being able to recover from that in the next 4 innings after that.
I think the reason I was struggling is just because I was nibbling and just not attacking the hitters, and I was kind of pitching scared. So after we scored a couple runs, I just knew I had to attack the hitters and keep putting up zeros, and they were going to get themselves out. So just attack the zone.
Okay, Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. JJ, obviously, coming into this World Series after a little bit of a layoff, did it take you some time to maybe find your rhythm a little bit at the plate? It seemed like that swing was obviously a big moment in this game, but do you feel right now like you're back to kind of being locked in up there?
I've definitely felt a little better at the plate, a little more comfortable, but I think today was a good step in the right direction. Obviously, you guys could tell, I wasn't very comfortable first couple of games. I took a lot of time off, so a little rusty, but I think I'm definitely getting the hang of things again.
Okay, Teddy.
Teddy Cahill, Baseball America. JJ, just what does it mean for you to have gone back in time for this, and what did you have to do to be able to play here in Omaha?
I would have missed this for the world. So, playing through an injury, I don't have to think twice about it. It's, a huge game, and, I have to see for a reason. I got to be out there and, impact the game with my teammates on the field. So I didn't really think twice about it, and I did whatever it took to get back on the field.
Jack, going back to that second inning, bases loaded there, 2 outs. It seemed like a key moment in the game. You just walked a couple guys. How did you get yourself kind of back on track after that? And did you feel like once you got through that, you kind of were maybe over the hurdle a little bit?
Yeah, I think the big thing for me this whole year was 2 strikes hits and then 2 out hits and runs, and I would get ahead of hitters really quick, and then I would get a hit and I'd make a bad pitch, and so I knew it's College World Series, you can't be doing that now, and so I knew I had to make a good pitch, and they've been battling for me all year, my teammates and hitters, so I just didn't want to let them down.
Okay.
Steve Videk from the World Herald for both of you. The offense was kind of scuffling along a little bit there early, and then the run that India manufactured, what kind of spark did that give you on the mound and then you and the rest of the guys at the plate?
Jack, start, please.
For me, it was just a relief. I mean, 1 run, it's still more than 0, and so I like pitching with the lead, and I just knew that when I went out that back inning, if I put out another 0, that it would be good momentum for our team. And India was always telling me when he's playing third that you can't let those rebound run happen, and so I just had to make pitches and put up a 0 that inning after he scored that run.
JJ?
I thought Killian was throwing the ball really well, and he was making it really tough on us. We didn't have a hit for, I don't know, 5 innings maybe, and just a scratch a run across. I thought that was huge just to get out to a good start. I saw a stat that said we're like 30-1 when we score first, so it definitely takes a lot of pressure off Jack. I'm really glad Indy scored there because I didn't have a great at bat, so I was happy about that one.
Okay. Way in the back.
Mike Irwin, KNWA, for both players. Could you talk about your thoughts on the game tomorrow and the difficulty of trying to win 2 now to advance?
JJ?
I mean, it's definitely not a position we'd ideally want to be in, is to win 2. We'd like to be in the driver's seat, but we're not. Our backs are against the wall. So I think we've shown it all year that we respond really well to when our backs are against the wall. I think tomorrow's going to be no different, and we're facing a very good Arkansas team, and we're very familiar with them, and they're very familiar with us, so it's going to be a battle.
Jack?
Basically the same thing he said. I think it's going to be a good matchup. We've seen them a lot this year, and I think we're 2-2, right? They've won 2, we won 2. Yeah, and so I think it'll be fun, and I'm just excited to keep playing.
Teddy?
JJ, just what did you see on the home run, and how do you feel? I mean, it seems like you like hitting in this ballpark a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I do like hitting. That was my first home run here, so that was pretty special. He was throwing really heavy sinkers, and he was making it really tough on the righties, so I was just trying to see a ball up and maybe put one in the air because the wind was blowing out so hard. He left one over the plate, and I put a good swing on it.
Okay, any more? Okay, Aaron?
JJ, it seemed like they had some momentum going there. I think it was the late innings. They had the 3-run rally, bases loaded. You guys escape it. How big do you think it was to come right back? And it seemed like twice late in the game when they came at you, you guys fired right back. How big do you think that was? And what was kind of did you guys talk about that in the dugout at all? Like, hey, let's get right back at them, or is it just one of the unspoken things?
I mean, you can talk about it all you want, but just to go out there and do it is a different thing. We talk about it with the pitchers all the time, how when we put up a crooked number, the pitcher has to bear down and get a 0. Like Jack was talking about the rebound runs, and they put up 3, and we instantly had to respond. We had to change the momentum. Their fans were super loud tonight, so we had to, get the ball rolling in our direction.
Okay, any more questions for the student athletes? If not, guys, we'll see you tomorrow night.
There's one back there. There's one back there.
Oh, is somebody? I'm sorry, Mike.
For JJ, looks like Arkansas will go with Isaiah Campbell. He probably had his worst game of the year against you guys in Gainesville. Do you remember that game and remember anything about what it was that allowed you guys to light him up? I think he went 1 inning and had to leave.
Yeah, I do remember the game. He was just falling behind on the hitters, and I remember John hit a grand slam in the first inning, so that definitely doesn't bear well if you're the pitcher. So, I don't know what else. I just remember John's grand slam.
Okay, guys, thank you. That'll be it. See you tomorrow night. Thanks, Dan. Okay, questions for Sully, and we'll start with Mike.
Coach, is that 6 1/3? Did that exceed your expectations of what you thought you could get out of Jack tonight?
Yeah, I thought we'd get 5 or 6. I'd be happy with 5 and probably ecstatic with 6. And really, he started the 7th inning on an 0-2 count and gave up, that hard hit into the left center field gap. If he makes a pitch there, probably a good chance he gets through the 7th, because I really liked the way he was throwing the ball. And really what we're trying to do is try to squeeze the last, 9 outs of the game, 8 outs of the game, to not have to use Michael Byrne. He only threw 14 pitches, but in a game like that, we had a 5-run lead with 6 outs to go. It would have been nice not to use him, but fortunate enough for us, he only threw 14 pitches. But at the end of the day, we're going to need somebody else to step up. Give us some outs. If we want to advance here in the next couple of games.
Okay, Teddy?
Sully, I mean, we've seen it the last couple of years when JJ comes back into the lineup, it just feels different. Just what has he given you this week being back in there?
Well, you can see how they're pitching him. His first time back, and, he's seeing a lot of breaking balls, a lot of spin, and, he just demands a lot of respect, and they just, they pitch him differently. And, I think, now he's our team captain. Everybody's excited he's back, and, a lot of guys may not be playing. I mean, he's playing with a broken finger. It's usually a 4 to 6 week deal, and, probably more towards a 6 week, part. So he came back, and, obviously we're excited he's back.
Aaron?
Sully, obviously, Jack, came up big for you and some other freshmen in the bullpen. And then Brady Smith had that big swing of the bat. What went into your thought process to keep him back there behind the plate, and what kind of a spark do you think that was?
I thought he caught great tonight. Sometimes at times he gets a little quick receiving the ball. Tries to get the ball back to the pitcher a little bit too quick, because we talk about pace all the time. But I think he's got a chance to be a really good player. He can play multiple positions. He can move around. He's got a really good arm. It's accurate, and he's got a really sound swing. I think he's got a chance to be really good, and I was really pleased with how he played tonight. I mean, you think about it. We're in an elimination game, playing in front of who knows how many people, and I got a freshman battery, and they handled it pretty darn good. Pretty good.
Kendall?
Rogers, D1 Baseball. Sully, kind of looking ahead to Arkansas tomorrow. I know Brady Singer is going to want the ball. Do you expect him to start against the Hogs?
Yeah. I mean, we got to look at it right now. We can't think about Saturday. We got to take it one game at a time, and talk to Brady today, and he's going to pitch tomorrow on 4 days rest.
Okay, any more questions for Sully? Okay, yeah, back here. Mike?
Could you just address your overall pitching situation, where you feel like you're at right now, and even with the idea you might have to play two?
I know I'm concerned about tomorrow. We got Brady Singer on the mound. He's starting, and we'll see how long he can go, and then see what the score is, and that'll dictate who we use pitching wise. And then if we're fortunate enough to win tomorrow's game, we'll throw our best available guy on Saturday. It's really that simple. It's going to be one game at a time from here on out.
Okay, right here.
Andrew Hutchins with Arkansas Rivals. Y'all have played Arkansas 4 times already. What advantages do you get from that, and also what are your thoughts playing them again on this stage?
Well, when you started looking at the bracket, before we got out here, you figured it'd be probably a point in time we're going to play them. I mean, if we were fortunate enough to play well enough to get to the second game, or come out of the losers bracket, that's what's happened. So I'm sure they feel the same way as we do. They're familiar with us. We're familiar with them, and got a great deal of respect for Dave and his program. And ran into a couple of their, their pitching coach today. They were having lunch downtown, and their strength coach. We kind of sat for about 45 minutes, talked, and let's be honest, we're gonna have to play really, really well here the next couple of days if we want to move on. So the whole focus right now is going to be just tomorrow. I know Brady's starting. I know Isaiah Campbell's probably going to start, and we'll see what happens. And, hopefully we can get a chance to play on Saturday. So it's really that simple.
Okay, Mike?
Coach, has Brady ever pitched on 4 days rest, and at least with Florida? And if not, how do you try to prepare him for that?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, 4 days is typically the amount of rest you need in between, and said he wanted the ball, and certainly he's a junior, he's older, he's strong, and we'll just monitor his pitch count, but he's certainly ready to go.
Okay, right here.
Quick one, Coach. Drew Ammon from the NBC in Fayetteville, Arkansas. 1 through 9, very deep lineup for Arkansas, but they're getting a lot of pop right now from the bottom of the order. Just your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get 27 outs. You can't let up. It's a deep lineup. You just really can't have any let-ups, and that's where I think Brady, he understands that, and he's mature, and you can't, that's typically what happens at young pitchers. You go out there and, you faced eight-hole hitter and you end up walking them on 5, and next thing you know, 5 pitchers or so, and then you find yourself in a jam and the lineup turns over and you got, there are guys at the top of the order that really do damage. So you just got to play good defense. There's not a whole lot of swing and miss in their lineup, so keep walks to a minimum, play good defense, and, hopefully our bats, continue to stay hot. It's really that simple.
Any more questions for Sully? Sleep fast.
Yep, you got it.
Thank you. Good luck.
You always say that. I don't know what that means.
Come on.